Hi, welcome to the Well I Got Show. This is Cracker. We just did a review for the movie Terminator 3, which we thought was pretty good, and now we're going to talk about Terminator 4. What is it?
Terminator Salvation.
Terminator. Oh my God. What did you think of what? Do we know who directed this?
Mick G.
Yeah, he sure did.
He directed the 2 Charlie's Angels films.
Yeah, sure did.
Starring Christian Bale.
Christian Bale
as John Connor.
Yep.
Bryce Dallas Howard is Claire Danes' character. I don't remember his wife. Helena Bonham Carter is in there as some weird scientist lady.
Yeah.
Your favorite, Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin.
As a young Kyle Reese.
So sad.
Anyone else?
Who's the guy who played
the
lead?
I'll find it on my phone. And then Michael Ironside shows up.
Yeah. And
I'll find out who that actor is.
Yeah, do that real quick. So there's a guy played by this guy. We're gonna look up here in a second. Can't remember his name. I want to say Chris Hemsworth. That ain't it.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
It's another guy altogether.
Terminator.
So there's a guy at the beginning of the film who
Sam Worthington plays Marcus Wright.
Marcus Wright. So he has cancer or something? No, they're gonna be executed.
He's gonna be executed.
Yeah, and then he effectively donates his body to science. Something, and I don't know. Help me out here.
There's a lot of fucking shit in this film.
Right up front, you get a lot.
He's donating his body to science because he's going to be executed. And then, spoilers, but it was spoiled in the fucking trailer. Anyways, yes. He is a Terminator human hybrid.
Did he get
but he doesn't know.
He's out for 30 years or something, and then when he comes back too,
yeah.
It's now the future.
It's confusing as fuck.
Yeah, he thinks he's a human being trying to wander around the nowhere to find find his brother or some shit, find out what's going on. He doesn't know what's happening. You don't know what happens. And I thought that part was okay because he's wandering around trying to just find people.
Yeah, he did a great job. He's
a fine actor.
What they did with his character was retarded.
Then you cut over to Christian Bale, who plays John Connor, and now he's maybe a lieutenant or a captain in the Resistance, and they're fighting the machines. And that is it. You hear in the first one, you had lasers pew 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 pew, 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 pew. Now they just have guns, like normal modern day guns, and it's just
But
why make that
here's
decision?
The thing, because this is the beginning of the Terminator takeover, I guess. Because the Terminators look different; they're a different model. Not talking about the Arnold cameo that happens later. Because you remember Michael Biehn in the first film said, the Terminators were easy to spot because, they had rubber skin, this and that. Laundry's done. And so this is the beginning of their technology. They didn't have the lasers yet. So
freaking lasers?
Yeah, I think the freaking laser beams, I let that slide a little bit.
Okay. Sure. So then what happens? So Christian Bale is leading the Resistance. Then, what was his name? Sam Worthington runs into Anton Yelchin and the little black girl who's deaf.
He's a mute? Fuck if I know.
And
she's the worst part of this film.
The Resistance doesn't really exist
It's so confusing. But what I'm going to say is, though, first off,
Anton Yelchin wants to join the Resistance? Or is in the Resistance?
I don't remember if Christian Bale knows he's got to save Kyle Reese. Or if Sam Worthington knows he's got to save Kyle Reese.
Sam Worthington doesn't at first know who Kyle Reese is.
Right.
Kyle Reese is Anton Yelchin. Anton Yelchin is young Kyle Reese. And then
for some people who don't fucking know, Kyle Reese becomes the father of John Connor.
If you don't know, why are you watching our program, young man? So Sam Worthington, Kyle Reese, little black girl, they go on an adventure. And then at some point, Sam Worthington and Christian Bale cross paths.
Right.
Kyle Reese and little black girl are taken as POWs by the machines.
To Skynet.
They go back to Skynet. And now Christian Bale and Sam Worthington have to work together to save Kyle Reese in order to save the past, which is also the future. What did you think about Terminator Salvation?
I've seen it twice.
Did you? And you're still alive.
I've seen it in theaters, and I left very disappointed.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I've seen it on home media since then, and then I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's so confusing, and
It
there's so
makes
much.
no fucking
There's
sense.
so much of this film that could have been taken out.
Yeah.
The whole Sam Worthington as a robot wasn't necessary. We could have just had him
See,
as a regular
I
soldier.
thought that part was more interesting than the
Really?
Christian Bale bullshit.
Christian, I didn't like the little mute girl
Yeah.
that's partnered up with Anton. She's unnecessary. She's just
Totally
there.
unnecessary. Yeah.
The special effects are really good. The action sequences for what they are really good.
The look of the film is fine.
Yeah,
The look of the film is fine.
most of
Blowing up looks
the performances are
fine.
decent. Christian Bale kind of channels Bruce Wayne, Batman, Dark Knight a little bit too
But
much.
the question there is like, okay, was that Christian Bale's choice? He'd be like, I'm John.
Well, he didn't.
Or did what's his name say this is
He
where we want
wasn't
you to be?
gravelly as he was in Dark Knight, but I thought he was just a little too intense.
Right.
I didn't think he needed to be like that. I liked Bryce Dallas Howard as Catherine Brewster from part three. I liked her as little as she was in the fucking film. I wish she could have been in it more because she was a main character in the third one. But there was some cool nods to the previous films. I liked how they got Linda Hamilton to do a voiceover since she's been dead since the third film. Um, like he's listening to her voice on like the tapes.
Because
I
she had never mentioned um
Kyle Reese.
no, what's his name? That would just Sam Worthington's character,
Right,
like a guy who thinks he's human. She had never mentioned that.
right, because she didn't know
So
about it.
he's going back through the tapes, being like, "What is it?"
Yeah.
Keep going. You were saying.
I liked how even after all these years, John Connor's still listening to Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
When he brings up he's
Yeah.
trying to let the drones know that he's there by blasting the same Guns N' Roses song from part two.
What did you think of the Native American lady?
She was pretty.
Yeah.
That's it. She was thrown in there for some sex appeal.
I get. Yeah.
That's about it. Um, Anton Yelton
Yeah.
as Kyle Reese is channeling Michael Biehn here.
So it's good, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Anton.
I was about to punch you.
No, no.
You talk it. You trash my boy. And now he's
Here's the
gone.
thing. Here's the thing.
Him and Bruno Kirby, man, my days.
Here's the thing. You could see Anton as a young Kyle Reese or Michael Biehn. Even his voice sounded like him. You know, he had that little bit of raspiness to him. The body language, the paranoia. You could tell that Anton did his homework.
Yeah.
Very great.
Very talented actor.
So I liked the nod when we finally get to Skynet. We see the T-800 come out, which is a bodybuilder with an Arnold superimposed CGI Arnold face.
Yeah.
Because Arnold couldn't do it because he was governor at the time of California, so he can't do a movie. But the CGI there looked great. Yeah. It didn't look like Mickey Rourke's face in The Last Outlaw. So it was cool that we got to finally see John Connor fight a Terminator. I liked how we got to see how John Connor got his scar on his face because we've seen that scar in the previous two films. But overall, there's just so much going on in this film. It just becomes a jumbled mess overall.
The whole subplot with Michael Ironside. So Christian Bale
isn't
yet John Connor, the great leader.
Right.
He's just like an officer, if you will. Mm-hmm. But then it hits this brick wall of illogic where they get into this whole thing about how there's a prophecy about how he's going to become John Connor that they know about for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's a whole corps of officers above John Connor with Michael Ironside, and they've got this plan that they're going to do some shit, and it's just like, you don't need none of this. Mm-hmm. This was horrible idea.
There's so much of this movie that could have been
trimmed out.
And
then their plan fucks up, and then John Connor becomes John Connor. But at the beginning, he's like a lieutenant.
Yeah.
And
he's not the savior yet.
None of that was that. The whole, what I guess, like Sam Worthington and Anton Yelchin going on their adventure, I enjoyed that more.
They had a good chemistry
Christian Bale and the Resistance, I thought that was all shit.
I don't think it was all shit. I liked what we did see of Christian Bale. I thought everyone was sucking Christian Bale's dick at this point because of The Dark Knight, American Psycho.
I guess.
I thought he was decent as John Connor. I personally wish Nick Stahl fixed his personal problems, I guess, and he could have done this because I guess he was considered to be John Connor. It's just the guy couldn't get off the dope, and he became too much of a liability.
Yeah.
Kind of like Edward Furlong, you know.
Christian Bale.
I still think Christian Bale is still severely overrated.
I don't blame Christian Bale for shit. The film doesn't make a lick of fucking sense because there's a John Connor-ness to John Connor that is consistent in the second and third films. He's a bit of a young kid. Mm-hmm. He's rebellious.
Yeah.
This guy there's no semblance between him and John Connor. Mm-hmm. You kind of need there to be. Mm-hmm. And so he could start out as still a little bit Nick Stahl, a little bit young, a little bit naive, a little bit rebellious, and have him have more of an arc to become John. Instead, he just starts and he's like, and it's just like there's no arc. You're just an asshole. He's not likable. No. You don't feel for him. There's a scene at the beginning where a bunch of his men get killed. He barely gets out alive, and I give a fuck about none of it because you didn't establish who these people are. And he's not a likable or hateable character. He's just kind of there.
That's true. That's the problem. You make John Connor unsympathetic and unlikable.
Sam Worthington, he's like, where the fuck am I and what's going on? I said that right, right? Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington.
I was like, I followed him because you're like, man, what is happening? And you felt for the guy. And then when he finds out that spoilers, he's actually a robot. That he didn't even know that. I felt for the guy.
Yeah, because
Christian Bale, I never gave a shit about him.
There's a scene where Sam Worthington is Skynet, and Helena Bonham Carter is back up on the screen, and she's telling him everything that happened. I'm just like,
and then she tells him like, you've done something we've always failed to do. You've helped us kill John Connor, and you're like, what?
Yeah, it was just totally It was totally unnecessary.
Stupid movie. Stupid.
Overall, I'll still say I enjoy it for the most part because the action scenes are great. I like the nods to the first few films. Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese takes me back to the first film. Sam Worthington, likable character. Overall, passable grade. Probably I don't want to say worst, but it's probably there's 5 films. This is number 5. Ranking them.
Yeah. Genesis
I enjoyed Genesis a lot more.
I haven't seen it.
I had a lot of fun with Genesis.
All I know is Red Letter Media took a giant shit on the lot on Genesis. I should go watch it though for myself.
I really think you should because if you're worried about the shit, the logic in Genesis, you just fucking. We're talking about
There's no
if you could take yourself out of it.
There's no logic.
Just like when we talked about Terminator 3, you just take yourself out of it.
And that's a good point about this and like Looper, for example.
I gotta see that.
The logic is so fucking baffling that you have to just like the story. Fuck the logic. The characters are on an adventure. Do you like the characters? Do you enjoy the adventure they're on? I liked Sam Worthington and the adventure he was going on. Christian Bale, I'm like, I don't care about you. I don't care about you at all. And you're John the fucking Connor. Because there was no youthfulness, no boyishness. There was no... He was just there.
Right. All he did was scream a lot.
And scream. So, like, had they the very first scene, he's going into a bunch of troops, and they're off to do something, and his guys get killed. Had he been young and naive and, like, this is his first mission...
Right.
And holy shit, instead he's just like, I'm really tough as nails. And it's like, okay, but just a movie ago, you weren't there yet. So there should be an arc to this man, where he's still a bit of a boy and becomes a man, just like in the first one. In the third one, he wasn't John Connor when the movie started. Right. So let's pick it up from after that. The war's been going on for a while. He's still kind of young. Now he's got to lead his first group, Green Soldiers. And then everybody else gets killed. He's got to take over. I'm okay with that concept. It's how they went about doing it was shit.
The execution was bad.
The execution was shit. And then the whole like Sam Worthington is going to lure John Connor. It's like, really? Are we? Are you? Like what? So Kyle, like Anton was great. So it's like two different movies that converge. I liked one of them. It's almost like watching The Matrix. Like you had the Wachowski brothers, and you could tell there was two different minds involved in this. I liked one of them. I didn't like the other one. And here it's the same thing. There's two movies that ultimate then came like converged. There was a confluence of two films. One of them I liked. The other one I was like, "Fuck you." So Michael Ironside was there too.
So overall, like I said, I give it a slightly passable grade.
It looked fine. I liked
It
part
looked
of
good.
it. It looked real
Overall,
good.
a lot of the acting was good. It's just
Yep.
there was just so much going on. It was just like a big jumble ball of shit.
They needed to do. We said what we gotta say. They need to do a better job than they did. Fuck you guys.
Or just fuck McG because
Yeah, McG.
how did you go from the how did they whoever the studio was were like, we really like the Charlie's Angels films. He can direct the next Terminator film.
How does that make any
Because he can do over the top action.
And
that's fine, but the thing is, the Charlie's Angels films are stupid fun.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen them, I know you hate women.
I've never seen them.
Oh, okay.
I know that.
Okay. They're over the top, stupid, poke fun at themselves, fun films.
Okay.
How do you go from something stupid like that to get a job in a serious Terminator film? He can direct action. McG can direct action, but the thing is, he can't direct actors. And that shows in this film.
And that's what we talked about the Christian probably a good year ago now. Did the Christian Bale meltdown rant, and we covered that. And I said, look, the guy knew what a horrible fucking movie is, and I thought everybody thought that revealed something about Christian Bale being a jerk. I thought it revealed the amateurness of the filmmakers involved with making this film. And go and check that out. It's probably uploading now. I re-edited it, but they just weren't good film. They were the wrong choice for this project. Maybe Charlie's Angels was great.
It was fun.
Mick who?
Mick MCG. That's his whole name. McG.
Anybody does that's a fuck. But so he was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
For this film. And like James Cameron just knows this. Some people just fucking know story. They know good story. This guy is Michael Bay. He knows how to shoot a film. He doesn't know good story.
Right.
He didn't get it. So it wasn't. It's watchable, but man, the whole time you're like, "Fuck you." So yeah.
I say go watch Genesis instead.
Yeah. Is that what? Real quick, I haven't seen it in 2 minutes. Is it okay?
You want the plot or just want my opinion?
Nah, just your opinion. Just a real quick ballpark.
Genesis. Other than the no chemistry between John Connor or between Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor, that's just the actor's fault. Fun, great nods to the original. Great likable scenes, great action sequences, turn your brain off, popcorn film. If you enjoyed Terminator 3, I really think you enjoyed Terminator Genesis.
Okay. So in ratings?
My personal ratings, 1, 2, 4, 3, 5.
Okay.
But it's hard. Genesis and Rise of the Machines are neck and neck.
It's really hard to rate the first one because even though like the second one, the filmmaking might be better. Technology was more advanced, but
we'll talk about that in our review because I prefer the first. I still think the first one is the best one. I think you prefer the second.
I would say 2, 1, 3, 4, and then I would say 5 is somewhere around 4.
So we'll get to that though eventually.
Yes. And I'm losing my throat, so I think we're gonna call it a night.
All right. Yeah, you were yelling too much in the Kindergarten Cop review.
Fuck you, Kindergarten Cop. So I'd say here for the Whitey White Guy Show, I'm Whitey. This is Cracker. Thank you for watching. Hope you stuck with us. And shout out to all our guys: Roger, Joker,
Gollum, Jay Wilkins, Darian Castle. He's back on YouTube.
Yep, been watching some of stuff, buddy. And everybody else who subscribes to our show. Please subscribe and
don't just subscribe. Please watch our stuff.
Comment and let us know some shit you want us to review.
Interaction is great.
Yeah. So,
good journey.
Good journey.
Good journey.